What is going on, young men between 18 and 29? I am the over 50 guy slash the online dad. Y'all know what we do here, so let's get into it. Today, guys, I want to talk about why. Why is all of this stuff that I am telling you about building yourselves, why is that even necessary? In other words, what's the end goal to all of this? Like, why does it matter? Why can't I just be a 20-year-old and just do my thing and have fun and just, live my life? Why does it matter? Why should I be so concerned about putting things in motion now, early, while I have time? I mean, I have time. I'm 20. I got all the time in the world. What does it matter? This old dude is going on about learning about financing and not being distracted and finding my passion and all of these types of things. What does it matter? Why? Why does it matter? It simply matters because I want you guys to have options, right? That's why it matters. Options. The purpose for it all, young men, is just for you to have options in your life. Whether it is options with where you live, options with who you marry, options with where your children go to school, options to where you work and what you do. It is all about options, young men. It's why I want you to build yourselves adequately at this age so that you can simply have options. It's really what it comes down to, is having options and not just settling. Options about where you live, options about who you marry, options with where you decide to send your kids to school. I mean, just options, guys. And these options were really lost on me in my 20s because I wasn't thinking about the things that I am, sharing with you guys now. I didn't have an option as far as my work career when I stayed at home with my father. It was, get some work boots, you're going with me today. There was no, Pop, I think I want to pursue, this. And I understand where he was coming from with that I was young and he had to prepare me and put me in the best possible position that I can be in. And I applaud him for that. And he done that, and he done that well. I think that the options that I am talking about now, my camera's acting stupid, sorry, man, stems from the ideal of once I was an adult and I was able to make some different choices. I couldn't do that because I didn't build myself right. I didn't do the things, again, that I'm suggesting to you. And I wish I knew about the stuff that I'm doing now back then, or I wish I was just open enough and not so fearful to try different things or to create different options for myself. No, the only option that I thought was viable back then was to get the highest paying job and make a lot of money. And it was just so much more to it than that. If I would have learned about money and valued it right and not just blew it and ran through it, I would have had the option of putting my children in private schools or better schools so they can get a better education and and for them to be exposed, to different things, and that could have possibly, put them in a better position. And, don't get me wrong, my kids are great, but I think, again, I'm talking about options, guys. I'm talking about having the option to do things differently. I would have loved to have had the option to put them in, a better neighborhood. And don't get me wrong, we didn't live in crap. Expose them to just different things. Would have loved to have had that option, right? But because I didn't do the things that I am suggesting to you now, my options were extremely limited. I have been, married a few times. I prided myself back in the day on the, I like who like me. if you are the right type of person, if you have the right level of resources, then you will have many that like you, and not just a few. And, you know, just to have that type of option, and that's not the be all to end all, man, but it matters to have the option to drive what you want to drive instead of what your paycheck allows you. The option to travel and to do all of these things. Guys, this is what I'm talking about. This is what all of this is for. I just want you to have options. I don't want you to have to settle, right? And when you don't build yourself when you don't build yourself right, you are limited in your resources. And if you're limited in your resources, you are limited in your options. That's the point of the whole video. And rather that is, again, who you marry, where you live, where you go, it all matters when you are limited in options as opposed to having unlimited options. As a 55-year-old man, looking back over it all, my options were limited. They were limited. They were limited based on what I knew. They were limited based on my actions. They were limited based on the fact that I didn't apply myself to certain things. I was distracted by a lot of things. All of that stuff limited my options. And limited options puts you where limited options put you. Limited options has it so that when my knees are so jacked up I can barely walk to the bathroom, I still got to go punch that clock because I have limited options. You know, when the supervisor or someone else says something slick and I got to bite my tongue, it's because I have limited options. When your kids come and they want to go and do this and see that, and you got to make up some type of excuse, limited options. So all of these videos and everything that I am talking to you guys about in the context of building yourself is just so you don't have limited options. I want you, if you build yourself properly and you don't fall into the distractions and you know about finances and you know how to utilize your finances and grow them right? You know how to take care of yourself. You have other skills. You're not hung up over one female or chasing after another one because they're lined up for you. This is what a life of options look like. You can pick up and go whenever you want. I can't do that, man. I'm 55 years old and I have to plan vacations. I'm 55 years old and instead of driving what I want to drive, I have to drive what my paycheck or what my occupation allows me to drive. I don't want that for you, man. I don't want that. I want you to be able to drive whatever you want to drive. I want you to be able to go wherever you want to go. I want you to be able to put your children in the best schools. I want you to be able to choose a mate, not based off of her looks or how big the booty is or any of that stuff. No, I want you to be able to select from many the best option for raising a family and raising your children instead of just settling for who's there. Options matter, man. Options matter. And I am telling you from a 55-year-old perspective that limited options suck. Limited options suck. So all of the videos I've made before, all of the videos I am going to make moving forward, it is really about just helping you to create options for yourself. Options with where you work, options with how you work, options with who you date, who you marry, options with where you live, options with what you do with your children. Because guys, again, a life with options is far more better than a life with limited ones. I would tell you that from absolute experience. So why am I doing these videos for you guys? At the end of the day, just want you to have options because I know what it's like to be older and not have them, right? and how you create options for yourself is doing the very things that I suggest in these videos. So listen, I am the Over 50 Guy / the Online Dad. Hope this added some value to you guys. We'll be back with another one soon.